What's going on, guys? Glock Guy 226 here, and tonight we're going to be taking a close look at the brand new Spyderco Paramilitary 3. Now, this is a very highly anticipated knife, probably one of the most anticipated knives of the year, I would say. So stick around, we're going to be getting into the pros, the cons, and some of the differences between the Paramilitary 3 and these Paramilitary 2s here. So, right off the bat, guys, I just want to say that this knife actually is a buddy's. Big thank you to him for letting me borrow it. He bought it at a gun show over the weekend and said, why don't you take it home, do some pictures, do a quick review on it. So, greatly appreciate that, man. Now, the Paramilitary 2s have been some of my favorite knives. They're really what opened the door for me into quality knives. Now, the first knife I ever had that was a Spyderco is this here Paramilitary 2. Now, I bought this off of a guy I worked with. He used to always talk about these knives and how expensive they were, and I was like, dude, you're crazy to spend, $100 plus on a knife. Well, he actually bought this knife, and then his dad bought him the exact same knife one Christmas, and he sold this thing to me for like 70 bucks. So after buying it, using it, EDCing it for a while, I really got into the Spydercos. Now, this past Christmas, my wife bought me this Spyderco Paramilitary 2, which I've always wanted this color combo. The black blade with the digi-camo handle. Very awesome knife. Now, like I had mentioned, these knives are very similar when it comes to the Para 3 to the Para 2. It basically is just a shrunk version of the Paramilitary 2. So, overall, you're getting a really nice compact size out of the Paramilitary 3. The Para 2 is a great knife, probably one of my overall favorite EDC knives, just all-around knives, but it also is rather big. Now, just in my hand, and I don't have the world's biggest hands, guys, but it is a pretty big blade to lug around every day, which I don't carry it every single day, but I do carry it quite a bit. Now, the Para 3 is a pretty good sized knife. I mean, it's kind of an in-between knife. It's not really small, but it's not huge like the Para 2s. So some of the differences of the Para 3 are, of course, the blade. Now, this is an exactly 3-inch blade, where the Paramilitary 2 is a 3.44-inch blade, so roughly 3.5 inches. So you are shrinking that blade a little bit, but overall shape of the blade is pretty much the same. As you guys can see, they kept that traditional paramilitary style blade. And as far as the Spidey hole, which is what they like to call it here, that's what you use to deploy the knife on Spydercos, that is pretty much in the exact same spot as far as height from the handle. Now, this one here is a basic black and satin. I do believe it's the only color Spyderco has came out with so far. But hopefully we'll see some cool like sprint runs or even the digi-camo black blade combo. That's really what I'm kind of waiting for. But overall, guys, G10 handle. Typical Spyderco has just enough grip to not get out of your hand. I really do enjoy the ergonomics of this knife versus the Paramilitary 2 just because its overall size. Now, like I mentioned, carrying this in the pocket has been great. I did carry it today. I didn't use it at all just because it's not my knife and it's brand new. But overall, carrying this thing was a pleasure. Now, one of my favorite things about the Paramilitaries is the compression lock. Now, Spyderco does have some other knives with the compression lock as well, such as like the Yojimbo 2, which I own, and they have a couple others, but the compression lock is great. Once you get used to running this compression lock back here, it's just so convenient to open your knives and then use the compression lock to close them. Just overall really cool. I really dig the compression lock. Now, one of the other differences of the Paramilitary 3 is here, which is the blade stop back here, you can see a torque screw. Well, on the Paramilitary 3, they used a pin, which I'm not sure, the advantages of that, but I'm sure Spyderco has its reasons. Now, another thing they did was pretty much kept the lanyard hole. It looks like it might be a little bit smaller, but for a small knife like this, it's a pretty big lanyard hole, actually. But for the guys that like to run paracord in and put, beads and stuff like that on their EDC knives, you'll definitely be able to get your paracord in there. Now, another thing that's really neat about the Para 3 is the price point. Even though this just came out, my buddy got it at a show brand new for 120 bucks. Now I kind of expected it to be, you know, probably in like the 150 range with it just coming out, and I really haven't seen them in too many places, to be honest. I'm sure you can get them online all over, but to actually pick it up and put our hands on it, I really haven't seen it. Now, traditionally, just like the other paramilitaries, this has an S30V blade on it, which is the steel, guys, which is a very, very strong steel. I know on my other two Spydercos here, they have held a really good edge on them for a while, which I have put another couple, I've probably put 2 or 3 edges on this, you know, resharpened it a few times, but they definitely hold their edge for quite a long time, and they're a very, very tough steel. So guys, I'm not a knife reviewer. I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown on the Paramilitary 3, let you guys know that it is a great knife, and kind of give you a size comparison versus the Paramilitary 2. Now, honestly, the Paramilitary 2 is a highly, highly sought-after knife. I think the Para 3 is going to be even more sought after than that due to its size. You're not going to beat a knife this size, guys. It is perfect for EDC. And like I said, I'm going to do some research and wait and try to see when they're going to start coming out with some color combos for this. And I'll definitely be picking one up in the future. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all you guys that come to the channel. Please like this video, sub to the channel if you haven't already, guys, and have a good night.